Alright, a basic tutorial here on how to utilize Fathom, at least some of the most basic stuff that you can do. Fathom is graphing software, which we use in physics and you'll be using throughout the rest of the year. So I'd like to show you how to get data into some tables and how to plot some simple graphs, and then you guys can figure out the more complicated stuff later. Inevitably, the very first thing you need to do is enter some data, because right now it just starts with a big blank white screen. If you click and hold the table icon at the top and then drag it onto the blank screen there, it will create this little area where you can enter columns for data. Let's suppose you're collecting some data about velocity and time, so we can enter a V here for the first header and T for time in the next header, and then you'll notice that it just creates some empty fields underneath. So let's enter the time values. Suppose we start at time equals 0, then we're collecting data every second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we've got 9 seconds worth of data, and now we enter the velocities. I'm just going to make up numbers here. Maybe it starts at rest, then it starts moving, maybe not so fast. Something like that. So now you've got data for velocity and time in two different columns in a thing called collection 1. And let's plot this. This is kind of fun. Click, grab, and drag a graph icon onto the screen. And it's really easy. All you do is you grab the column headers that you're interested in plotting and you drag them to the appropriate axis on the graph. So if we want velocity to be on the y-axis, we grab the velocity column right at the V, and you can drag it over to the graph here, and you notice that it will let you drag it to either the X or Y value. Just plop it onto the Y value and it plots it. And we do the same with the time. We grab the time and we place it on the X value, and there we have it, velocity versus time graph, which is kind of cool. I'm leaving it as a scatter plot. You can change it to line scatter plot if that makes sense. In this case, it doesn't. We may want to try to do other things with this at some other time, but we'll play with that a little bit and see how it goes. Suppose you want to plot a best fit curve to this. This is really kind of neat. You're allowed to graph functions onto here. But one of the coolest things is it allows you to manage how the functions look. Grab this thing called a slider. Let's grab a couple of them and put them onto the page. And let's change the V1 on one of the sliders to be M, which stands for slope, as in y equals mx plus b. And the other one can be B, which will be our y-intercept. And then on the actual graph itself, if you right mouse click, you can then select plot function. And at this point it says V, velocity, equals some function of everything else. So let's do M times T plus B and hit enter. And a line shows up, which is really cool. And at this point, you can adjust the slope of the line by sliding the M value, and you can adjust the y-intercept by moving it around as well. Isn't that cool? If you find that you can't go far enough left to make the y-intercept work for you, you can grab the numbers, push them over a little bit, and then you have access to other values in the sliders. Once you have the graph the way you like it, you can resize it to a size that is easily readable. And then you can go up to the edit and copy as picture option. And then over here in some MS Word document, like maybe a lab report, you can then paste it by clicking edit and paste. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. I don't know why in this case it's not working. Sometimes it works really well. If I just do copy and then go over here and say, oh, there it is, copy and paste. It just worked. And there you have it. You get a scatter plot pasted right into your lab report as a picture that you can resize and everything. You can also delete it or move it or place it someplace else in the picture. If that doesn't work, if you're not happy with that, if edit and paste isn't working for you, you can also just take screenshots if you know how to do that. And of course, that depends on your operating system. So there you go, a basic Fathom tutorial. Give it a try. Thanks.